With this, you can actually produce a sizable fish of 1 kg for just 700 naira a kilo. See how fish consume live larvae.
Today we're at a black soldier fly farm that is taking livestock farming to the next level with just maggots. In this video, we're going to show you how this farmer got started, how he feeds his livestock, and tips that both new and old farmers can use in their farm. Stick to the end of this video. There are a ton of things you can learn from. And if you've not subscribed to this channel, click on that subscribe button right now. That subscribe button will not bite you. Thank you. Let's get to this video. Now we're at the farm where they're doing so much using just black soldier fly larvae. Sir, can you tell us your name, what you do, and the likes?
Hello, my name is Godswill Benstowe. I'm a BSF farmer, I'm a poultry farmer, I'm a fish farmer, I'm a nutritionist, animal nutritionist. I've been in this business for over a decade, and in search for protein has led my movement from Nigeria to Nairobi to Tanzania to Uganda to actually source a better alternative in the African region. What they do that we are not doing in Nigeria, that has led me to BSF farming. With this, you can actually produce a sizable fish of 1 kg for just 700 naira a kilo, including your cost of production, if you are farming this.
All right, so we're at this section where we see a lot of flies in this net. So can you explain what this setup is about and what you do with this?
All right. These are called the love net.
The love net?
Yeah, these are the love net.
Why do they call them love net?
Because it's an issue of mating.
Oh.
Yeah, they have to mate. Yeah, so this is their room where they do they also in an insectarium. An insectarium is where you keep your insect. Right now, in the insectarium, we have a way of caging them instead of building a very big house for them. That whenever you enter, you're gonna see flies perching all over you. So we just decided to carve through with this little net here. This net is about 4 feet. 4 feet height, 5 feet height by 3 feet width. So that's where
the height is 4 feet,
5 feet,
5 feet.
Yeah.
Then the width
is 3 feet.
3 feet. So yeah, people can easily sew it.
Yeah. So we usually have this available too for sale for farmers that actually wants to get from us. So in here we store our fly. This is the process which we do. We collect these eggs. Collect this. We collect this.
Okay, this is called the eggs.
Yeah, this is called the eggs. Right. So this is the eggs. Now, black soldier fly are one hell of insect that their way of living is very, very simple. They don't just go about laying eggs anywhere. That bowl, there is a black bowl with net in there. That bowl, it contains an attractant that God created flies to actually decompose waste. So this waste in that rubber actually draw their attention that there is a waste we need to decompose in there.
Okay.
So with that idea, they all come down to lay on that waste. So since we have and they don't like laying on every usual places, they look for tiny holes, tiny spaces to put their ass in there to actually lay.
Okay.
That's the way they operate. So now we use rubber band or thumbtack nail to actually create this small spacing for them there. So they will just go there and we place this on top of the substrate, the attractant, which is that waste in that rubber. So they go in there to lay.
So what now that we understand that this is where the flies they mate and they lay their eggs, so how do their eggs look like for people who have not seen this egg before?
All right,
the black soldier fly eggs, how do they look like?
Okay.
And what is the quantity of eggs in grams that you can collect in this kind of setup?
Yeah.
And again, how many kg of pooper would you put in here?
Okay.
To get started?
Each of these nets I put between 4 to 5 kg.
4 to 5 kg.
Yes, each of these nets. That's the capacity I put. And on a daily basis or 2 times between 48 hours, I'm expecting a minimum harvest of between 5 grams to 10 grams
for this setup.
For each of these nets. So this net could run for over a month. That's why I keep getting from there. This is how the eggs looks like. This is part of today's harvest. These are the eggs.
So this kind of egg can give us like how many kg?
These are about 30 grams of egg in here. Yeah, these are 30 grams of egg. Now in these 30 grams of egg, we expect a minimum of if we're having 3 kg in each of 1 gram, we have about 90 kg of larvae from this small thing you have here.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So if in a worst case scenario, if your waste is not too good, you can expect between 30 kg from just these 30 grams of egg. So basically, you know, this is the eggs. You don't mind the rubber band. We untie it. We untie this to scrape the eggs. You can see these are already hatched. These are already laid this morning.
Yeah.
It has been harvested, but new ones have been laid. And when they lay newly, the eggs looks white. It looks white. And later on, when the eggs turn to matured more for harvesting, it turns golden color.
So can you tell us what you feed to your larvae that they grow this big?
It comes after materials that are well fermented. Example of the materials that are also not too acidic or too, you know, too rash in terms of when they are there, the odor gets too offensive. That doesn't attract them. Things like easygoing things like spent grain, which you get from the brewery waste. That is what we have there.
Okay, spent grain.
Spent grain there.
Or also call them brewery waste.
Brewery waste.
Okay.
So you can give them with corn chaff, cassava peelings that have been fermented. Now, this year we have spent grain fermented for 3 days. Then we have fiber water here. This is not just fiber water. This fiber water is gotten from the result of processing palm oil. There's a water that comes out from the chaff.
Okay.
Now we contract those people to wash the chaff for us, and we store the water. We use it. There is actually a fat and some protein content in the water. Beautiful. Even for pig consumption too. Yeah. So we use that water. Then we don't just put the water. We have a drum out there which we ferment biscuit waste into the water. Now biscuit waste serves as a sort of energy. The energy helps in the weight gain of our larvae.
Okay. So
we are not just feeding larvae whatever we want to feed. We are formulating a kind of feed, but using several waste material to formulate for them. So we formulate with spent grain, biscuit waste, and fiber water. So they grow big, add more weight, and they're also looking big.
Okay, so very interesting. I'd like to know, how do you ferment your waste or your spent grain, as you have called it? How do you ferment it?
Okay, like in the situation of my spent grain, I have a sack over there. Right, I have a sack over there, which that sack contains nylon. Let me get it from the place. So when we store our spent grain inside here, the nylon doesn't allow air, you know, to escape from the bag.
Okay.
So at this process, it helps in the fermentation process. We tie the spent grain in there. Yeah. So because we are taking stock of truckload, or we might not have enough fermentation tank to hold up to a truckload of spent grain of over 10 tons. So we bag them into bags that have nylon inside. That's how we ferment our spent grain.
Beautiful.
Then for the biscuit waste, we pour them together with the fiber water and ferment it there. After 2 days, we can start using it to feed our livestock.
Okay, let's assume
our BSF.
Okay, so right now, if you look around, you see that we have so many empty bioponds. So why are they empty?
All right. Today is the first working day of the week. So over the weekends, we usually harvest our stock from the farm. We do weekly stocking. On the first day of the week, we stock the farm up with a capacity that each of these ponds can give us a minimum of 4 kg of larvae. If the production is bad, we have 2 kg each pond. So we work with a minimum of 4 kg each pond, multiplied by 84 bioponds we have in here.
Okay.
That is our production capacity on a weekly basis. So today now,
how many kg do you hope to get of these 84 bioponds that you have for that week that you may harvest?
If everywhere is filled up, we expect every week harvest at a minimum of 350 kg of larvae in there, fresh larvae in there each pond.
Wow, that's massive.
So this morning now, we're going to show you the processes, how we will lay our new net, which is the newly hatched larvae, we're going to share them to every pond.
Okay, the newly hatched larva is called neonate.
Neonate.
Can you show us how it looks like?
These are the neonate, right?
Wow.
Yeah, these are the neonate.
How many days old are these neonates?
These are about 5 days old.
5 days old.
Yeah, what we do in our farm here, we gather our productions for the whole week into different bowls of hatchlings, which are the neonates. We gather them there. By the time we are harvesting every week out, that's where we lay these new ones in.
Oh, okay.
That's how we strategize our farm, so that we can have accountability of what we are producing and know what we are producing, and know how to take in raw materials for waste, which is waste for our larvae. So these are the neonates. These 2 here are enough to fill up the whole of this pond.
The whole 80 something bioponds.
Yes, and yeah, and these 2 here, you see here, they are enough to produce us over
and it's quite hot.
Yeah, these are enough to produce over 350 kg of larvae.
Wow.
Yeah.
So can you demonstrate how you are going to do achieve spending this this neonates on this your biopond?
Yeah, it starts with this. Let's keep this there. It starts with this. This is the sperm grain. Usually I have a designated quantity I put in each of these ponds, and a designated quantity I use on the neonates to combine them together to grow in the pond. So the measurement in here, I'm going to mix this with this fiber water and biscuit waste fermented together and to form a snorri substrate, which is like a watering kind of substrate for them to be able to penetrate and move in and eat very well.
Okay, before you go there, what is the size of this your biopond, this particular one? So that in case people who want to set up their biopond can easily get that information.
Okay, most of the bioponds are 2 feet by 2 feet.
2 feet by 2 feet.
Yeah, most of them are 2 feet by 2 feet. Okay, so some of them are 2 feet a little bit. You can watch this. This is 1 foot. This is 2 foot and a half. This one is here is 1 foot. This is 2 foot and a little. So some of them are 2 foot and a half inches. You know, some are 2 foot and a half. Some are 2 feet by 2 feet, depending on the spacing. But for subsequent demonstration on how to go about it, you can write us down on the comment section. We're going to be able to reply you, on the right proportion of the measurement spacing so you can get. So this is it.
So at this point you're mixing the fiber water and the spent grain.
Exactly.
Or I like to call it burying waste.
Yeah, this is how we mix it.
So your spent grain, what's the composition of this your spent grain? Like what is inside?
Okay, these are sorghum waste from the either sorghum or barley waste.
Barley waste.
Yeah, barley. Okay. That they gotten from the barley seed. And then the Nigerian brewery companies will actually get a truckload of waste from them. So that's how we get this. So some of them are used for production of alcoholic beers. Some of them are producing the production of malt.
Okay.
Yeah. So this one is not enough. So we have to get more. We'll see how more. Yeah.
So you mix them until you get a smooth consistency.
Yeah, get a snorri consistency.
Now that this thing has been fermented, you're not using hand glove. Are you sure that it's safe for the hand?
Yeah. As part of the PPE materials needed for PPE.
What's PPE?
Personal protective equipment.
Okay.
So as part of those equipment needed for BSF farming, hand gloves are there, nose masks, probably a face cap. Well, one of the reasons is that if you are asthmatic, you might need a nose mask to actually cover your face because of, this is generates some kind of alcoholic that can trigger any form of, people that have such ailments could trigger you. Then for your hair, if you are hairy like me, then you might need to cover your hair, mostly when you are doing the filtration. The dust that rises, same thing with the nose mask. It actually has to prevent, things coming to. You are doing BSF farming, you are doing waste. You should always remember that. You are working with a waste material, which are, for some reasons, you have to also prevent body contact or all those kind of things. So I'm getting one email to the other. But for the BSF himself, they don't transmit diseases. You can't run to unknown cost in farming, DSF farming. Because why? The farm does not have, you don't need a generator to power the farm. You don't need one thing or the other to power the farm. All you need is waste injection. It's a recycling process. You can never go bad with it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's one of those things. So pardon me that I'm not having my hand gloves on, and this smell is gonna stay in my hand for some days before it gets off. But that's one of the protectives.
And that's because you fermented it.
Yes, that's
so fermentation is a very important part in this.
Yeah, exactly.
In this process.
Exactly.
Okay, beautiful.
So let me continue. So sorry. This is how we share them to the pond. Now, each of this my pond, I have a scale on my head which I have actually test run that are enough for each of this pond. And each of this bowl, I'm going to load into each of this pond. Now, it's going to give me a stipulated result that I'm expecting.
So how many kg would you say this is now?
What I target most time is 4 kg of waste each of this pond. 4 kg, 1 kg of waste with good feed gives me 1 kg of larvae.
1 kg of waste can produce 1 kg of
larvae.
Okay,
yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So, but you know, that depends. A gram, the book says that several contents, several write-ups says 1 gram of egg can give you 4 kg of larvae. Okay. That's what is written. That's what theoretically is obtainable. But in reality, it all depends on the waste you are giving to the larvae.
Yeah.
So, for my experiment so far, I can say 1 gram can give me between 1 to 3 kg.
Okay.
Of larvae. That's what is obtainable, provided that the materials are quality. You have quality materials, that's quality waste. Yeah. Actually, so let's don't get our heart. The main thing here is waste farming. So we are trying to get the best from waste. So at this point, and that's what I have been able to get from my own findings, that 1 gram of egg can give me up to 3 kg of larvae, as long as the waste I have quality in there. So form a bed for them. Yeah,
I see you're using a trowel.
Yeah, I use a trowel. You know, there's a saying that says the way you prepare your bed is the way you lie on it. So I try to give them a real comfort zone. So that
some persons may think that once you want to spread this your biopond,
yeah,
like someone has asked me that question.
Yeah,
why don't we fill it to the top?
No, why you don't need to fill to the top? If you have a large number of larvae in there, you can do multiple feeding. You don't feed once. Listen, there are several factors that will affect your feed. One, environmental factor. It could be very hot, it could be very cold. It could be in the Harmattan season where we have a lot of cold. And now you miss these things to be very soft. Before you come back tomorrow, the water have drained.
Yeah.
At the end of the day now, you see some moldy, they are looking for seed on top.
Okay.
Why the BSF have not even fully utilized it, the feeder now housefly will come in because the waste is too much for them. Housefly will come in and start laying egg, overpowering them, in their food. So what you do is you feed a mixture that is equal to their consumption strength. So at that ratio, they easily consume, decompose the waste, and we can easily filter. You get a dry substrate. We try to get even, because when your substrate is not dry, your larvae is up to maybe instar 5 from harvest, you struggle to harvest. So we like in our farm here, because of the capacity, we like to make sure that our harvest is always on a dry frass. What is a dry frass? Example is what you have at your back here.
Okay, we're going to get to that part.
So that's what we have there. So this mixture, I always get a very good result. In the next 7 days, the next 5-6 days, everything here is fully mature for harvest.
Okay.
The frass will be dried, the larvae will be grown to their table size.
Okay, for want of time, can you just use this biopond to show us how you would lay, or the quantity you would add to this substrate you have here?
Okay.
Let's see how it goes.
Okay. Now, this my unit.
Now, this your new unit. I see that we have some bigger ones in there.
Yeah.
Why is that so?
The bigger ones as a result of them being open. Now, as a result of the sperm grain being there, some of them goes in there to lay egg.
Okay.
So, and you know, in this business, you always have fast shooters, the first shooter. So most of them here are the guys that grow faster than others. While the other ones will be at lower stage, them are already preparing.
Okay.
At the pupa stage. So that's what usually happens. They don't, all hands are not equal, even in the larva business.
All right.
So that's how it works. So we usually have a container that we use to measure each of these ponds to the normal capacity. For the sake of this video, I'm just gonna use one thrower to eat.
Wow.
So that will be enough.
So this one throw you've added now could give us up to 3 to what you said 1 to 3 kg.
Exactly.
Depending on what you are feeding there.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful.
Yeah.
Now listen, if you are watching, please watch to the end. If you have watched to this point, you must have learned a lot. These are information that you should pay a lot of money to get because people are not willing to share this kind of information with you. So watch to the end. Now I see that you have a cat here.
Yes.
Why do you have a cat in this farm?
Why I have a cat in this farm is actually because of rat. Rat infestation has become too much. Now you discover that you have everybody is looking for protein. Yeah, exactly.
Including the rats.
Including the rat. Everybody is looking for protein. Cost of protein in the world right now is getting on the high side. So rats every day they will come to infest your farm. Trust me, if you start a small scale BSF farm, you might not notice this at the beginning stage. But at the latter end, because you need to discover that rats himself are very big hunters of larvae. They will come in, drink, tear the pupa into two, sip the water. That's what they do. The larvae, they will just eat it. You know, pupa has this fiber polymer. There's this polymer in pupa that is not digestible. So they will not want to eat the pupa.
That's the black shell.
That's the black shell. So
black shell is the fiber
polymer. The polymer. So they will not want to eat it. They will sip the water. But the larvae himself, they're going to eat it. Even the cat actually eats it. But you can't compare the consumption of cat to rat. Rat are destroyers. They will damage. Cat will eat for fun. You know, eat in quantity you can eat and go away. But rat will just consume, destroy everything for you. So that's why we employ the services of the cat to actually help us.
So what that means for someone who does not have cats in their farm, what that means can we use in protecting larvae from such infestations?
The one thing you have to get rat killers, like in pesticides for rats that actually does those jobs. What you must not apply in your farm must not apply this spraying insecticides, you know, pesticides that require you spraying in the environment. Please, your flies does not tolerate any form. Kerosene, whatever it is not good for them. Burning things around your farm environment is not acceptable. If not, it's going to kill your fly. And one funny thing is that it's not going to end there. The newly hatched one keeps inheriting these chemicals. You might need to overhaul your farm if you pass through that process.
No problem.
Yeah.
It's all right. So, like he has said, ways to protect your farm: get
a cat. I see that's the most viable and easiest, cost-effective system. You can get rat poisons for several amounts, but then they're not even effective. Yeah, these are larvae. These are the larvae we use for feed formulation. All right. So these were harvested yesterday. We had about 300 kg harvest of it. So these are one of them. One of the pond we have in this right now. This harvested one, we have about 50 kg in here. We have about 50 kg in here that was harvested. So we are going to use this to formulate feed today.
So what do you use this to feed?
Okay, basically, chicken eats this raw like this. Catfish eats this raw like this. Pigs eat it raw like this. But the secret is this: This guy you see here, this larvae you see here, it's about 45% crude protein to 55% crude protein. The difference in the variation of crude protein is actually depending on the material, how well fed it is.
Okay.
Now, a soya bean actually contains between 42 to 48% protein. So this guy can actually compete with the soya bean we use for our feed formulation. So what do? As a knowledgeable person in animal nutrition, I don't just feed this to my birds. There is a proportion which I actually concentrate. I have a formula which I use in feeding my livestock. For instance, let's say I want to make a starter feed, a broiler starter. There's a percentage of larvae I use as a protein source with energy. Right over there, we have energy stock. We have over 1 ton of energy materials in there. So that's what we do. So we take this, they're already crushed, the energy stock. This guy doesn't need crushing. If you have a pelletizing machine, it pelletizes with, you can use it to pelletize. You have a pelletizing machine over there.
Okay.
So we use this and the energy source to pelletize the other micro, nutritional stuff like salt, bone meal, or if you have, but we don't use bone meal here. We have the pupa shell. So these are the pupa shell. The pupa happens when the larva metamorphose from larva to pupa, from pupa to pupa, now from pupa to flies. So as they are turning to flies, they come out of this. They come out of this and leave this guy as a waste product.
So what do you do with this?
So this guy now, this high calcium content. So what we do, we crush this, as an alternative material to bone meal. It's very rich in potassium, very rich in calcium as well. So we use this as an alternative for DCP or bone meal. So that's what we use it for. So since we are running a fish farm and a broiler farm, we actually use this to produce feed for them without buying additional material. Remember, the concept of all this our agro is zero waste agro. So we try to use what we have in our neighborhood to actually produce feed for our livestock.
Show us your fish, how you feed them with larvae.
All right, we'll move to where we use live larvae to feed the fish. So these are live larvae, and we are going to give to these our fishes.
So like how many fish do you have here?
These are the total stock in these 2 ponds are about 2,000 fishes. So we sorted out the sharpshooters, the fast growing ones, into this other pond, so that they don't devour the smaller ones. These fishes are about 20 days plus, 20 days old in there. So these are the performance. So you're going to see how fish consume live larvae. Watch.
Wow, 20 days old.
20 days old. See, they are bottom feeders. Catfish are bottom feeders. So they will go chase everyone that went in there.
Do you have an idea of how long these larvae will last in the water before the fish will consume? In the case that they don't consume everything, how long can they live? Or will they die immediately they enter the water?
You know that larvae can even live inside water.
Really?
Yes.
For how long?
The larvae can sustain there for 2-3 days.
Wow.
Inside the water. In fact, the larvae can be in the water and precipitate. You know how I got this? For my fermentation drum, where I use liquid, I see that larvae float on top the water and they actually stay there to precipitate. And when going to scoop them, sometimes you see larvae, you see bigger larvae in my new net.
Yeah.
Those bigger larvae you saw in my new net, most of them came from my fermentation drum, which the black soldier fly from wide might have gone there to lay, or the ones that escaped from our farm will go there to lay. And when we are going to take the fiber water, we take them along. Wow. By the time we mix them together for our substrate, we see some bigger than some. So that's how it works. So they will sustain themselves, but they are floating feet. Even if they are bottom, catfish should still pick them up.
Yeah, I can see that
pick them up. So since they know that most of them will sink, that they will go to the bottom. Let's go to the smaller fishes. These are the smaller fishes.
Can one use just these larvae to feed them from day one till you harvest?
It actually can become a sole feed without mixing materials for your catfish. But alternatively, catfish actually have several stages of feeding. So you might have to want to incorporate energy source for weight gain. That's where it comes in. So this is rich in protein, rich in fat as well. So
What are the energy sources that one can incorporate for those?
you can incorporate like rice bran, maize, spaghetti dough, indomie dough for them.
Wow.
Or biscuit waste, biscuit dough too can go in for it. So cassava meal as well can go in.
So I've learned so much from Godswill Benstowe. He's the founder of Zero Waste Agro Farm. And if you want to learn more from him, because he obviously has a lot to teach, you can call him on the phone number on the screen, or you can go to the description. It will take you straight to his YouTube channel where you can learn more from him. So that's the most we can take. If you have learned so much, if you have watched till this time, thank you for watching. And I know you have also subscribed. God bless you.